let me get in Kamlesh Jain, who is the Chairman and Managing Director of Jain Resource Recycling, to talk about these numbers and the outlook ahead for the company. And Mr. Jain, if my voice is reaching you, this is Neeraj Shah here. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Before we talk about, Mr. Jain, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, brilliant. So, Mr. Jain, good morning. Happy New Samvat to you. A quick thought from you before we get to the numbers. The Alcoa CEO comments seem to have brought in some bit of upsurge into base metals, particularly aluminum. You are in that space. I wonder if you have any thoughts there before we get to your company's numbers.
So, aluminum is, of course, the demand is going up, and because of that, the aluminum basically linked to the more on the energy cost. When you refine the aluminum, the major cost of refining aluminum is energy cost. I mean, the energy cost goes up, definitely aluminum price also goes up. But we are recycling and we don't have much energy costs. Ours are different from what virgin manufacturers are doing. We are different from them.
Agree. No, of course I know, but I was just wondering if you had some thoughts there, but thank you so much for sharing these. Now, okay, let me try and get to your numbers, because your numbers look very strong on that base to expand margins the way you have, EBITDA growing 81%. Was this the case of enhanced capacities or better operations, better pricing? And is this something that can be extrapolated for the quarters ahead, Mr. Jain?
Yes, so it is overall all the factors. It is not like one factor. As I have said many times in earlier interview also, that recycling about sourcing, and when you source and when you get more material, you can recycle more and you can sell more. So of course the capacity expansion, the sourcing capacities, and the order book what you have. So all those make the numbers are strong, and recycling industry is going to go more and more. And as I've said many times, we have to recycle if we want to live in this world. There's no other option we have.
A fair point. I don't want to break down the numbers if you can, Mr. Jain, and good morning to you. This is Alex. I see that lead and lead alloy ingots contributed to nearly half of the revenue, and so logically, therefore, the others, which is copper ingots and aluminium and aluminium alloys, accounted for the rest. Can you give us a sense of whether this is likely to continue? You mentioned it depends on sourcing, but is this more or less what you can expect as a mix, or does this shift materially based on what the market demands as an end product?
No, it is always about what the capacity you have, which metal, what capacity you have, and how much factory can process. So basically, lead is now predominant last year, but I feel that the numbers will be going up forward. Copper will be ruling the lead, and copper will be number one commodity. And of course, lead will follow that. And also, it's not depend on what I get. What I need, I should process. So I need copper of this much of tonnage. I need lead this much of tonnage. That will come, and that will keep growing. So whatever the growth projection we have we're growing like 40-50% CAGR average of last 10 years, and it's keep growing. And now we are putting more and more plant. Recently, we have informed SEBI that we are going to put a plant in Ahmedabad with the CNY group of US. And then we have more things in the pipeline, which we announced shortly.
Interesting. So therefore, I was leading up to the next question. I'm glad you talked about copper as well, because everybody knows why copper is required and the kind of potential that has. So the question I have for you is, you've had a margin uptick of 125 basis points, and Neeraj kind of alluded to that when he asked you this. But one would assume that if, for example, copper goes up as a share of the whole, your margins should theoretically improve as well. Is there potential for that, and where does it head?
So what happened in the copper is basically a costly metal. It is 5 times of lead price. So it's 5.5 times of lead price. And then the copper margins will be lesser than percentage, it will be less. But EBITDA per ton will be 4 times of lead. So being a costly metal, lower the margin, but lower the margin the percentage, but per ton margin, it is 5 times. So of course, the bottom line in the figures, it will definitely rule lead in the years to come.
Just a final thought on that, sir. If you can give us a sense of, and you've said 40% or thereabouts compounded is what you've seen over the last decade. There's no reason to suggest that cannot take place, especially if you're adding capacity at this point, right? So assuming that top line does take place, you've said that the mix could change and that could have a bearing on the EBITDA and the bottom line. So leave us with a sense of how that will shape up based on how you see things in the next year, year and a half, 2 years?
So as I said earlier to you that we are coming with many more expansion in the recycling sector. And of course, the copper and that other value-added product. We are going to have a big value-added product chain is going to come. And we are also planning now for the other type of like our e-waste recycling and solar panel so these are the new areas of the recycling, which will add the top line and bottom line. And the company will be venturing into many other markets also in overseas to recycle more and more.
Well, Mr. Jain, when I look at your presentation as well, I mean, there's just so much that is happening that it becomes difficult to grasp, right? You're doing some gold refining in UAE, you're making acquisitions, you are expanding. You have said in your own release that looking forward, you will want to expand capacities, strengthening the presence across non-ferrous recycling segment as well. So tell us, from what you were in FY25 as a company, right? What do you envisage Jain Resource Recycling to be like, let's say in FY28, 3 years out?
Yes, 3 more years, definitely I have a very robust plan for expansion, the capacities, and we are already India's largest recycling company in terms of the volume and the revenue side. And we want to be a globally player. So we want to be one of the top global player, the recycling sector, with a multinational many to plan this recycling. So it is not alone India. We have a plan to put the factories outside India also. That's what our main plan. So I feel next 3 years, the company has robust plan for expansion and putting the factories outside India.
Fine, but Mr. Jain, sorry, just before we leave you, would love some specifics there, right, for your investors and our viewers to gain from. So is there a CAGR growth rate? Is there a target number that you've laid out to your investors about what numbers you will reach, let's say in FY27, 28, 29, whatever? Some sense of what the growth rate or the numbers could look like 2-3 years out?
So I can't predict the exact numbers.
Color, some color, Mr. Jain.
Yeah. But I can definitely say the past history is 30-40% growth of CAGR in last so many years. And that will be that bottom line that we maintain without any much, hurdles. I don't see any hurdles in maintaining that growth. The growth can be more than this. Even the additional new areas of recycling is going to add. And existing capacities keep increasing. So I have no issues as far as the growth is concerned.
Just want to confirm, Mr. Jain, you were talking about top line growth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top line automatically also reflecting bottom line. It is like percentage-wise, it's reflecting bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Jain, absolute pleasure speaking with you and look forward to chatting with you very soon.
Sure. Thank you for your time.
Our pleasure.